What's up, y'all?
Brandt, congrats on the goal. Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Brandt, same here. Congrats on the goal. A lot of us have seen you play all year and see you as one of the hardest working people on the team. What's it like now to have something to show for it?
I mean, I don't know if a goal really does my work justice. I don't think all my work can speak to cling to one goal, There's a lot of details, there's a lot of other things I do on the field besides score, obviously. But it was nice to score tonight nonetheless.
And then, going through that play, obviously Carroll gave you an amazing shot pass. How did can you talk about the play and how it was set up for you, how it was executed?
Yeah, I mean, Carroll drew the center back over, and I saw a space to run into. He played me a great ball, and I just looked at the back post and struck it there. And it was placed well, and I felt like it was a good finish.
Finally, what's on your mind going forward into Orlando and the rest of the season?
Playoffs. That's it. That's the only thing. That's all I think about every day is getting 3 points and making playoffs.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jonathan.
Hey, Brandt, this is Jonathan Siegel from soccer.com. You just said it there straightforwardly about playoffs. Your experience in the league, what do you feel is required this time of year? And are you seeing that in your team at the moment to possibly push above that line?
Yeah, I mean, during the last stretch of the season, you got to have a lot of character. You got to show consistency to be a playoff team. I felt like we showed a lot of character today, and now we have to keep it consistent. We gotta string wins together. We gotta gain momentum for that playoff push, and ultimately, get points out of every single game. Take care of our home games, obviously, and then figure out ways to win or get a point on the road.
Yeah. And last one for me would just be, how would you describe the pressure or the stress and of that playoff push and how this group is handling that? I know it's something that every player handles in different ways. A lot of players on this roster haven't been in a playoff race before in MLS. So how have you seen that manifest on a first-year club?
Yeah, I think guys are starting to understand it. Like you said, there's a lot of players that don't really or haven't had a playoff push, so to say, for in MLS especially. But I think they're taking it well. They realize what we need to do and what's required of us. And now it's just about going out and executing it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Steve, and then we'll go to Carroll.
Hey, Brent. First, the bad news: Providence Day lost to Wesleyan last Saturday, 1-0 in a tournament up there. But the good news, the rebound tonight from this. How bad was that flight home from Los Angeles, and how good would this one from New York be?
Well, we flew from LA to New York, so we didn't go home. We flew straight to New York on Monday, and we stayed here the past 2 days. But yeah, it wasn't pleasant. Losing is terrible already, and then when you lose like that, it feels even worse. We obviously feel bad that we lost, but we feel bad for the second half because we let our supporters down. And now, I mean, look, hey, we turned it around. We knew we had a job to do tonight, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but we got the job done, and now we're in better spirits, but we still realizing we still have a lot of work to do. I think we have 8 or 9 games left, and it's just about taking one game at a time and getting 3 points. That's what our focus is, and that's what we plan to go out and do every game.
And just to follow on what Sam was asking about, and knowing, I mean, obviously scoring is not your first priority on the pitch, but you scored a couple of goals for Chicago. I'm sure that first one remains very special. but this is your first one for your home state team and things like that. So, I mean, you've come close a few times this season. I mean, it's really close. So how, I mean, if you could maybe elaborate a little more on what it felt to finally see that ball go back in the net.
I don't know. I mean, this has probably been, I mean, if I look back and think about it, like, I'm just, I guess, first thought that comes to mind, this is probably the most special goal like I've ever scored in my life, scoring professionally for my hometown goal or for hometown club. It definitely means a lot to me. Maybe more of like, a weight lifted off my shoulders, a little bit of relief that first one finally went in. Cause like you said, I've been close a couple times, but haven't quite executed the way I wanted to. And finally, putting that first one in, with hopefully more to come. But also I played a little higher up the pitch tonight. Latanzio approached me and asked me if I felt comfortable with doing that. And I said, yeah, like whatever you want me to do for the team, I'll do for the team. And that was the mindset going in tonight. And I was happy that it worked out.
Well, having you and Marks on the field at the same time created a difference there and stuff. So don't want to get deep in the strategy with just, look, kind of almost had two defensive mids, working in that space for a bit, but not so much to get into that now, but, thanks and, pleasant travels home.
Thank you.
Carol.
I think did he mean Quinn or something, or Jones being in the midfield with you?
Yeah, I think
Actually,
you meant
yeah,
Jones.
Jones is what I meant. Sorry
Oh,
about
okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if someone told you you had to wait 26 games for your first goal with Charlotte, would you take it if it was a game-winning goal against New York in the situation that you guys are in?
I don't have a choice, so. Yeah.
So yeah. How close, which was in your head, which is the one, like how close did you come and how different was this one? How, inches?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Nashville, I got close a couple times. Yeah, I can't think about him right now and run through in my head, but this is the one that mattered. So I'm happy for tonight. And
you said Latanzio mentioned you could push forward a little bit more today, but it seems like you've been doing a little bit more of that maybe since he took over. Is that the case?
Yeah, a little bit. You still got to keep the discipline, and somebody's always got to sit there in front of the back line to make sure that we have that stability. But yeah, there's definitely been more freedom. He emphasized that he wants his players to play with freedom out there. And I mean, we finally executed, his tactics and his game plan tonight. Not to perfection, obviously. In the first half, I felt like we were a little too deep, and he wanted us higher up the field. But in the second half, I thought we did a much better job.
And lastly, just about, as a North Carolina guy and to see the news today about y'all's new facility, what does that mean to have a real home base now for this club?
It's super exciting. I know I'm looking forward to it. They showed us the blueprint and what they're planning it for it to look like. And it's really exciting to have, the first professional or, first division professional team in North Carolina. Where everybody's going to be under one roof, right? The academy, the MLS Next Pro, and the first team. So we can, properly develop players. Younger players can be around the first team. And I think it really creates a better culture and a more, kind of Charlotte FC family oriented environment.
Thanks, Brandt.
Okay, Michael, and then Nick will wrap it up.
All right, first of all, congrats on the goal. So you're the Charlotte FC player with the most games played, and you only have less minutes than Kalina, who's, probably not going to get any less than that. But what does it mean to you to score after that many games, and how do you find the consistency to play that many games with less rest than the other players?
Yeah, I mean, as a defensive or a holding mid in soccer, scoring is not my first priority, right? I gotta, it's more of like a defensive shift first, and then connecting the balls to I guess the more so attacking players. But you know, when I do get an opportunity, I want to execute when I'm in front of goal. So I mean, the first goal, obviously, it means a lot to me. And as far as minutes go, you know, I want to go out and play every single minute, every single game. I take care of my body. I make sure I recover well. I make sure I work out a lot. And I make sure I keep my body fit. During the season, in the off season, there's a certain regimen that I go through, and I'm very serious about it because I expect a lot of myself. And like I said, I want to play every minute of every game.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Nick.
All right, thanks. Brandt, what do you feel like was the difference? Because you talked about the playing higher in the second half, but like, what was your assessment of what made the difference in the second half for y'all tonight?
I think mentality. We knew what happened in LA, and we didn't want that to happen again. And I think guys came out after that game, even at training, you know, with a more aggressive mentality, more, I guess, like, you know, pushing forward mentality. Like they didn't want to take any crap. So, and like I said, we didn't want that to happen again. So we pushed, and it's almost like, you know, we went out there and we were, you know, losing this game was not an option. So we had to do what we needed to do to win the game, or at least get a point.
Yeah, you seemed like you guys played with urgency. So you talked about consistency being, you know, moving forward and looking at these next 8 games. What is going to be the biggest difference or the biggest challenge for the club in these next 8 games?
You know, just kind of gaining that momentum, getting those 3 points, you know, keeping a strong mentality, you know, showing that character, coming out with a, like I said, like a, you know, a non-negotiable mindset where it's like, hey, we get 3 points. We get 3 points today, and that's that. We need to make playoffs. That's what we're focused on. And I think guys are ready. It's not getting too high when we win. It's not getting too low, you know, if we lose. But we need to go out there and we need to win games, and that's that.
Thanks, Brandt.
All right. Appreciate the time, Brent. Thanks.
Thank you.